So, like Matt at Quantum Con Science, brought up recently with his whole marble video, right? Like how some of those marble carvings, they're so detailed. How do we know that, like a Medusa or something, didn't cause that? Just because no one's ever said something, just because everyone else says that, no, that can't happen, doesn't mean that it can't happen. So with thinking like that, that's really important, and it's going to tie into this video. So I hadn't looked into what's going on with the whole pandemic for a while, because it's just like, okay, it's obviously fucking nuts, and you wear yourself out, and then you just start kind of making fun of it, make fun of it, and I think there's a power to something, like, we'll use this as an example, where you're like, it doesn't matter anymore, because, like, no matter what happens, that's not going to apply to me. You know what I mean? Like, just like you've made it up, like, just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people might say or whatever, or what everyone else might do, and like, it might be like a big scare, but it won't scare me because I know that's not in my fucking story. And like, when you have like an attitude like that towards things, like, shit just like happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure you've had your own example, or maybe this is one of the examples, but like, it just kind of, like, reality obeys. And that's one of the times that it obeys, when you're like, it doesn't fucking matter, because it has nothing to do with me anymore. Whatever it is, I'm done with that. So anyways, so that's the stance that I had, and then, just funny or whatever. But so I haven't really, like, looked into the whole needlecraft in a while, and a few things I saw recently, and it's fucking nut. That's some crazy fucking shit, man. It's almost like, well, people like me, right, really stuck our necks out and dealt with a lot of shit, trying to do shit like Warnham, because that's what we were told, what works, and like what people are. They listen. What we were told about reality, that's one of the things that happened there, wasn't accurate, and put like a lot of energy and time and emotion and all that shit into going about a certain way that it didn't work. So that's like, like, that's one of the things, like, we need to think outside the box. That means, like, right off the bat, those people at least weren't the same as us. And what does that mean? I don't think we'll ever know. I seem to learn a lot when I do my very, very best not to believe anything. So, like, the people that believe things, like, they believe the news or whatever, they're getting the injections or whatever, and yeah, it's so weird. I mean, like, it's fucking nuts. So one of the things we need to consider, though, with that is, or I'm considering, is, could you build a better world with most of these people? My answer is no. You cannot. So that means, for whatever reason, it's just the way things go. It's like the ocean. Like, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. There's like energies, waves going through the ocean, and it's not like, I mean, you could say God or whatever, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's like no, that's just, it moves. That's all. It's nobody's fault. No one's responsible. And no one's responsible for life existing and existence. Things just are. The energy is just, it's energy, and it has layer upon layer. And like right now, I'm making waves, right? Vibrations. But what set me in motion? You know what I'm saying? And whatever set that in motion, what set that in motion? It's all just motion, it's energy. And no one, I mean, it's something to think about. No one's responsible for existing at all. It's just the way it is. And say these people, things are changing. Could you build a better world with them? My answer is no, most of these people. That means they're going to be leaving somehow. Now, something that hit me, like I listened to yesterday, and it hit me, like, I'm seeing it more and more, how like a lot of things have been validating something like this to happen. Say, possibly fall or sometime afterwards or something like that, it's possible we could start to see Thanos doing his thing, not all at once, but kind of like over a drawn out period. So, what you would call a genocide. The word Holocaust to me is very suspicious. I think of the word hologram, Holocaust. Like, I don't know. But the more important thing is not only could you not build a better world with most of these people, but could you build any other world than what they're already on track for? In many ways, no. I mean, because it's just destined, whatever. But what I'm saying is that goes for us too. Could you participate in the building of a better or any other world? Are you able to adapt and change? And that's like one of the most crucial things that I've been feeling is one of the reasons why I don't want to, I think it's a good policy, at least for now, not to believe anything at all, because the very fabric of reality is not what you believe it is. It's not what you're told, and it's not what you've been believing it is. Even me, like you have to have room to grow, and if you believe, that gets in the way, and often creates painful thoughts. A lot of your painful thoughts, if you really look at it, at the core, it's from a belief. That's what's causing the painful thought. So you can't, it's possible that we'll be seeing a lot of people leaving. Like there's something like to, like it's like, to me it's like, okay, yeah, there's something definitely to it. It shows me say like for whatever reason, like I'm different, right? And the timing of a lot of it too. And that's kind of like one of the things too, is like a lot of these people, it's like they're already gone, but they're still here. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're the type that watches my channel and, you know, quantum conscience or whatever, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? But like, see what I'm saying? Is like, it's like they're already gone, but they're still here. You know, this reminds me of my father's death. He died like a year and a half or so ago, right? And it's weird, maybe it was more like 2 years ago. I started getting some inheritance money because they like, my older sister sold the house like immediately afterwards. I started getting inheritance money like right after, like just as the pandemic started. And when playing Name started, I was like, what the? Like, I've really. My eyes were open before, but now they're like, whoa, like this. What is going on here? And a lot of meditation, thinking, dwelling, like, what's going on, like, say, with a lot of things, but what's going on with reality? And the main thing to get across is, okay, can't build a better world with most of these people. You couldn't build any world anyways because they're not ready, they're not willing to accept change. But that's where that's really important to, because the only change is constant. Like what I see is energy, change, non-stop energy, change, death, creation, death, creation. And if you don't change, and like are willing to change yourself to, for like the way that you, consciousness experiences everything, like reality or whatever, if you can't change, then you go extinct. Now, like destiny is destiny or whatever, but like if anyone else, like say, who wasn't considering this and then like can hear this and then consider it, like this, I think it's really, really important for me, like, just put the vibes out there that there are other people that can consider what I'm saying. Like, you need to, like, on every personal level, be willing to change. And hopefully in the meantime too, as you're riding with the change, you can create. But if you cannot, like, you can't go into a more perfect world, like say a heaven on earth or whatever, what comes next. You cannot go into any other world, like changing into another world, because you will not change, so you become extinct. So has been really, really, like, off seems fast, but like kind of ease and way in, say in this, like, this scenario, like, we'll say worst case scenario, whatever, but say if something like that starts happening this fall, we've been eased into it. Just like kind of like my father's death, like, oh, that's what I was trying to get at. Like for 5 years before he died, like he kind of like lost it. Like it wasn't him in there. It's the way I really felt, but it was always like, just like, it was like just enough. It's like, but it didn't feel like him, but he was still there. And then like towards like the last week or two of his life, like he'd be like that spark that like what like made him, like his like that spirit was like in there, like like a few times, like 2 weeks before he died. So like that's one of the things, like, it made me kind of be like, that like really hit home when I heard about, like the possibility of what might be happening, like say sometime during the fall or sometime afterwards. Been like eased in to, like, say like my dad not being there, and then he's like, okay, then he's not there. Like he's definitely, I mean, he's here in spirit with me and all that shit, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like most of the people, like, they're not there anymore. And it could be easing up to, because they're not going to be there. Because, like, the needlecraft is just, like, nuts. But it's like, say, come flu season or cold season, because they took that, one of the things that is possible could happen is they will not be able to fight off the common cold. And that's the termination of that extra in the movie. The deletion of that NPC. Now, say if that were just happened all of a suddenly, like, just like what I'm saying? Like, if you're not like where you can see what's going on, like, you know, you watch my show, you watch Quantum Conscience, you question reality. Like, say 10 years ago, if all of a sudden, like, what we've been experiencing is a lot smoother than, say, like 10 years ago. All of a sudden, like, one cold season, everybody just all of a sudden dies. Like, we've been like given preparation, and like, you know, like we try, like, say, do things like wake the people up, and then we get like fucked over a lot of times because of that. People call us crazy and all that shit, and it doesn't seem to get anywhere. So it's kind of like, you know, like, so it helped build the emotion, like, you know, fuck these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And to help ease into the inevitability of what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to take that than all of a sudden, when cold season, everyone just fucking get, like at least half the population gets fucking swamped. So, I don't know, it's kind of cool in certain ways when you consider, like, if that's kind of like what's going on there. This guy with the bike is pretty cool. Can you see it? See it? It's all lit up. So, yep, one of the things, I think we can learn a lot from that. Hopefully I put myself in like in a clear format. But be expecting, I mean, like okay, one more time. Can you make a better world with most of these people? No. One of the reasons why is because they will not change. We need to change and be willing to accept such drastic measures, such like major changes, so that way we can change things. Because that's just what's going to happen. Like, that's what always happens. Yep. And once you accept that, it comes easier. Don't believe anything. Have faith in yourself that you can deal with it and get creative with it. Interact with it. And yeah, things are going to be very, very different. I mean, like, the very core of, like, already, like, the way the very core of everything's, like, behaving is different, right? Feels different. Seems different. Well, look at the fucking Mandela effect. I mean, that's a really easy example, right? Alright, there is no fate but what we make. And God favors the bold and strong of heart. Be true to your own inner demon. He or she that lives in silence, maybe both. Morality, reason, logic, any beliefs are not responsible for existence, and especially not responsible for life. Often they have been anti-life. It's just energy. And I'm part of it.